Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of our Listen to the Missus podcast, coming to you from the studios of WSGW Radio in Saginaw, Michigan. I'm Art Lewis.
I'm Ann Williams.
And nice to have you with us as we talk about food and lifestyle and recipes and all that good stuff. We have a number of things to talk about today. I want to start, and I pulled this out of USA Today. The headline is Millennials Treat Food as Social, Not Fuel. Changing tastes and habits have had ripple effects. And one of the things that it's doing, according to this item, millennials have been accused of killing napkins, motorcycles, home ownership, marriage, divorce.
Well, that's why I never could get my kids to put their napkins in their laps growing up.
Yes. And now, at least in the food categories, we can add to that beer, cereal, American cheese, canned tuna, among other things. It matters what and how millennials eat, because that demographic of 23 to 38 years old is going to overtake the baby boomers. So they have tremendous influence in the worlds of food and purchasing in general. And there's no doubt their tastes
They
and
have
their
different tastes. I've heard that they value, in general, experiences more than things. That that they would rather spend money on like vacations than having, material items, which is interesting.
And, and food, if they view it as social and not fuel, they're going to choose on what brings people together to socialize, not what's good for your body. But then again, if you look at our overweight society, most people haven't chosen what's good for their body. So you have to wonder if maybe it's about time we do something different. Because the other article that I pulled out from the New York Times, its headline says, "Our food is killing too many of us."
Yeah, well,
I think that's
we've
probably
kind of heard
true.
some things to that effect.
And there's been a big debate on health care and all of that. And, we look around and it says here that over 100 million adults, almost half the entire adult population, have either prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. That's a huge number.
And many probably have no idea.
Cardiovascular disease afflicts about 122 million people, causes roughly 40,000 deaths each, 840,000 deaths each year, about 2,300 a day. Now, let's all understand, we're all going to die from something. Nobody is invincible. Nobody gets out of here alive, as they say. But can you delay it? Can you put it off? Well, we can, because our average age is getting older and older. I think I read where the average age of a male now is expected to live to 84 and a woman 86. And 1 in 4 men who reach the age of 65 will probably live well into their 90s. So we obviously are doing better at something, but we can probably attribute that to the medical care we get, which is better, but probably not what we put in our mouths. And we're sicker than we realize. More than 100 million adults, as I said, have some form of diabetes or pre-diabetes. 3 in 4 are overweight or obese. More Americans are sick, in other words, than are healthy in one way or another.
Wow.
Now, does that mean we can't function? No, we function pretty well, most of us. But a poor diet, they say, is the leading cause of mortality in the United States. But, if that's true, why are we living longer? Obviously, it has some play in there. Imagine if we ate right, what would be our life expectancy? I don't know.
That's interesting to think about.
It is. It's something to think about, isn't it? How we eat, what we put in our mouths, and how it affects our health and what it costs us as a society. So I thought those two headlines were interesting, that the millennials treat food as social, not fuel. And too many of us who treat it as fuel are killing ourselves with it. So, so there you go.
Well, I think the old saying is correct. We need to, eat to live, not live to eat.
Yeah, exactly.
So
now that
but food is so good.
I know. Well, now that we've had that
it's
conversation,
so enjoyable.
Let's talk about a food you found.
Yeah.
to talk
well,
about.
I'm sure many of our listeners out there have heard about the frenzy over the Popeyes chicken sandwich.
Yeah, and
that has been a sensation for the past couple of weeks.
And do you know why? I didn't find.
They say that it's just fabulously delicious, and people have been lining up to get it. There was like a competition between this sandwich and other chain sandwiches, notably Chick-fil-A, and people were comparing it. And, some people like one or the other, but something about this Popeye sandwich just went crazy.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. If you get in line for it, you're going to be there a long time.
Yes, but actually today they announced it's going away. They think they're going to run out of it. It has been so popular. People have been lining up around the block.
Well, why
to
wouldn't
get
they
these
replenish it rather than run out of it?
Well, they're going to replenish it. The problem
okay.
is, I guess their supplier or whatever, it's been so crazy that they have exhausted their supply. So they said that they're going to bring it back as soon as they can re-up, and this time it will be for good when they get enough stock back in or whatever they have to do. But they say if you want to, you can go and download their app and activate the notification so that you can be notified immediately when the chicken sandwich is back. Now, they do have them still now as we record today on Wednesday, what date is it?
28th.
28th.
Of August.
They have them today, and they expect to have them through Friday. However, they say as of Friday, they probably won't be too many more around. And
look for them on eBay.
You can get these sandwiches in both the regular version and the spicy version. And they say what distinguishes it is the chicken, they say, is just beautifully juicy and crispy. They describe the bun very buttery and pillowy. It has pickles on it. And it's just, they say this is just a fabulous sandwich. Yeah. You could take the pickles off, I guess, if you didn't like them. But it's just been amazing. This has been on
It's all over the news.
Yeah.
It's all over the news.
Yeah, and actually I did try one. I tried one last week.
Oh, did you?
There was a long line. I had to wait probably 20 minutes in line. And I did get one, but I made the mistake of getting home and not eating it right away. I put it in the oven. So by the time I ate it, I'm sure it wasn't at its optimal quality. Yeah,
well,
but I could see the potential. I could taste the potential. So I'm going to have to try it again when they're back.
So you tried something, and I tried something.
What did you try?
Well, I went to Burger King, and I got an Impossible Whopper.
Oh, man.
Now, I'm reading headlines all over the place how good they are. I'm looking at a headline right here from Delish that says, Burger King's Impossible Whopper tastes exactly like the beef one. Mm-hmm. That doesn't say much for the beef one because I didn't
So you weren't crazy about it? Michael Percha had one, too, he told me, and who is here on our staff, and he liked it. He said it was pretty good.
Here's what it was. At least mine was overcooked and dry.
That's never
it
good.
It was not anything like a Whopper flame broiled. And it's flame broiled, And it didn't quite have the same taste. I don't care what they say. To my taste buds, it didn't taste quite like meat. And it wasn't juicy, wasn't fake bloody or anything. It was dry. And if it weren't for all the condiments they put on there, I wouldn't have known it was a Whopper. So I wasn't real excited about it. Now, maybe it's just the one I got. Maybe I should try it again. Maybe I should try a thicker Impossible Burger that might be a little juicier because this was thin and it just wasn't that great. Now, I it's my taste and everybody has different tastes.
Yeah.
But it's become certainly popular. It's in every one of their stores now.
Yeah, and some of the grocery stores are carrying Impossible meat, too.
Impossible meat and other kinds of...
Yeah, and we were talking before we started recording about KFC are going to try a chicken version of this stuff.
Yeah, Impossible Chicken.
I know.
I don't, that's like butter and margarine. I want the real stuff.
Well, there's a lot of different opinions about, the value of this, really. Is it that much better for you?
I looked at a calorie counter on the Whopper. It's like the difference is like 30 calories or something. It's not a big difference in the calorie count.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess
if you're a vegetarian and you want a burger, you didn't want something close to a burger, maybe that's for you.
But I see these things, my first thought is gimmick. That's me.
Yeah.
But we'll see how long they last. I hope I'm wrong. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. And you have for us.
Well, I have a few tips on how to save money at the grocery store. This is from an article in U.S. News and World Report, their money section, and they have some really good tips on saving money at the grocery store, which we all want to do because it can rack up pretty quickly. One of those things is the first thing is you want to shop in season, which makes sense because fruits and vegetables that are in season cost less than those that are not. And they probably taste better too because they're fresher and they're from nearby. So that's one. Stick to the sales items. That's a no-brainer. When you walk in the store, pick up that flyer or maybe do a little research before you get there to see what's on sale and shop accordingly. Stock up on cheap and filling staples. Things that don't cost a lot of money like beans you can buy in bulk, things that's one way. So things that are filling, beans are one of those things, rice and different things like that, and shop in to stock up on stuff like that, especially when it's on sale.
And what they're saying is buy the bulk, don't buy the, and as good as they are, and they're wonderful, you will save a lot of money buying beans and making your own rather than buying bushes, for example.
That's right, yeah.
But bushes are wonderful. Oh, they're wonderful.
Another is to commit to store loyalty programs. Now, I know that it can be tedious. A lot of people don't want to go to the trouble, but I personally use a couple of the store apps and download their coupons that they have in the store. And it does make a difference. When you get up to the checkout and they start tallying your bill and they hit the button and all the coupons start to come off, you see a big difference there. So it's worth the effort, I think.
Absolutely.
Especially like I do the Kroger app for one. They periodically give away free items that you can
you get good store value and you get points for your gas.
Yeah, the gas. So it can make a difference.
And they all have, I mean almost
They're all
all
different.
the major chains have them.
I've noticed that one store's coupons are a little more advantageous than another because, for instance, one of our local stores, their coupons don't last long. Once they give them to you, you have to use them like within a week. Whereas another store, they'll be good for a month. So
and, there's national chains. We talk about Kroger, but we have around here in Michigan and I think Indiana and Ohio, they have Meijer stores. They'll have their own program and they have their own.
Yeah, they
app.
all are different. But
they're all different.
Yeah, and you might want to check the one out at the store that you like. They say visit the discount store, of course. If you want to shop someplace where things are cheaper, Aldi is a good one. A lot of people like the what do you call them? The shopping club stores like your Sam's, your Costco. That's another way. Be wary of grocery store traps. The way they set things up in the store to entice you. They try, they want you to buy things that they want you to buy. So be wary of the way they're displaying things. Those end caps will get you.
Eye level shelves.
Yeah, eye level shelves.
Look at the lower levels. Look at the upper levels.
Exactly.
So good ideas. Good ideas.
Store brands. Buy store brands instead of the they are cheaper than the national brands.
And they've come a long way.
And many times they're just as good. And sometimes they're the same. Just they put a different label on.
A different line.
Exactly.
And we used to call them generics when they came in the black and white cans. Remember the early days of that?
Yeah.
But now they're every bit as good.
Yeah.
Very
So that's
good.
another. So
how about this one? You talk about saving money. You want to bake a cake.
Yeah.
But you don't have the right size pan.
Right.
So you run out to the store, you buy a pan. You bake your cake. What do you do with the pan?
Yeah.
So here's an idea. How about you go to your library and borrow one?
Wow, that would be cool. If you were going to make some kind of weird shape that you probably wouldn't do very often, why take up space in your cupboard?
Philadelphia libraries. There's a library in Ohio, Wisconsin. There are several around the country now that literally check out baking pans of all kinds of sizes.
So these
and
are
shapes.
regular book libraries?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Listen, libraries have had to reinvent themselves a little bit,
Yeah, that's true.
So you go to the library, you use the pan, you clean it well, and you bring it right back for somebody else to use.
So you can use your library card for that, I wonder?
Apparently so. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And they say it's not just limited to the library in Philly, that there are a number of libraries around the country doing it, and more will be doing it. So there's another reason to visit the library, folks. Find out if yours has them. If not, suggest that maybe it's something they want to do.
I think that sounds like a good idea.
Now, if I had a pan, I could make a recipe. Have you got something for me?
Yeah, we got a couple recipes. Some of our recipes from our Listen to the Mrs. Files, which we've collected over a course of 60 years. Many of them from our listeners. This one is one that many people might have had. And with the Labor Day holiday coming up, these are both recipes that could be a part of your Labor Day spread. Grape salad. Have you ever had grape salad?
Oh, yes.
It's so good. It can be either, a side dish or a dessert.
And
to me,
it's
more of
easy.
a dessert, and it's easy, but it's unusually, surprisingly good.
Yep.
So it calls for 3 pounds of seedless grapes. You can use the red and green combined. You can use one or the other, however you want to do it. So 3 pounds of seedless grapes, 8 ounces of cream cheese softened, a half cup of sugar, a half cup of brown sugar, a cup of sour cream, a teaspoon of vanilla, and a half cup of chopped pecans. So all you're going to do is mix the cream cheese, the sour cream, the sugar, and vanilla. That's kind of your dressing. And then you fold the grapes in and sprinkle with brown sugar and pecans on top. You want to chill for several hours before you serve it, and you talk about yummy. Really good.
Yes, indeed. And don't cut the grapes.
Don't cut the grapes. No, they're good if they're whole.
Whole.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with you. One more here, Jason's Banana Foster's Cake. By the way, that first recipe, if you have our cookbooks, that was in cookbook number 10. This one's from cookbook number 7. It's called Jason's Banana Foster Cake, and yummy. So it's a cup and a half of butter, not margarine, softened.
Thank you.
A cup of white sugar, 3 ripe bananas mashed, a half cup of dark rum, 3 cups of flour, a quarter teaspoon of baking soda, a pound of light brown sugar, 5 eggs, a quarter cup of buttermilk, a teaspoon of vanilla, 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder, and a quarter teaspoon of salt. Then there's a topping, and that calls for a cup of toasted pecans finely chopped, a cup of white sugar, 2 tablespoons of water, a half cup of butter, and a quarter cup of dark rum. So you're going to combine the bananas, buttermilk, rum, and vanilla. Set that aside. Cream your butter, add the sugar, beat 5 to 7 minutes. Then your eggs one at a time. Mix till it's just blended. Then your flour, baking powder, and baking soda and salt. Combine that separately. And then add that mixture in with your banana mixture alternately. And add that to the butter, beginning and ending with the flour. So you want to alternate, but it probably doesn't matter a whole lot. That's probably for the ultimate texture. So once this is all mixed, you put that in a bundt pan, okay, a prepared bundt pan, greased and floured or sprayed. Bake it at 325 at least an hour till done, and then you let that cool 10 to 15 minutes before you take it out of the pan. Then you're going to make your topping. All those ingredients for the topping you put in a saucepan, cook it on low till boiling. Boil about 4 minutes. Then you're going to invert your cake onto a wire rack so it's, right side up as you would serve it. Poke holes in the top and carefully spread that topping all over the top and let it kind of sink down into the holes. Run down the sides, and there you have your Jason's Banana Foster Cake. Doesn't that sound yummy?
Yes, it does. I like bananas Foster,
Yeah.
too. That's going to do it for this edition of the Listen to the Mrs. podcast. Thank you for joining us. I'm Art Lewis.
I'm Ann Williams.
And we'll see you again the next time.